All right, so what we'd like to do now is just kind of go over a couple more points on sparring and ground fighting. If you guys noticed, or even took a look at the last lesson I started talking about sparring, I talked about 3 things. I made sure that you guys understand the importance of wind, meaning having endurance, how to pace yourself. The importance of positioning means, how to really maximize each and every position that you're in. So you're not only resting yourself, but also putting stress on your partner. And then the third thing that we have is the combination of techniques and attributes. You have to have both. A couple things I want to talk about today as we're kind of expounding a little bit more on sparring and giving you guys time to spar and all that other good stuff, is making sure that when you guys get together with your training partner, you have in mind what you want to work. You have a focus. I mean, I've used this example probably too many times, but I said, listen, imagine, you going over to your neighbor's house because your neighbor is getting in his car with his family and everything like that, and you're like, hey man, where are you going? I'm going on vacation. Oh cool, man. Well, where are you going? Don't know. I'm just getting in the car and just driving somewhere. That's what people do all the time in sparring though. And I see it sparring and stick fighting and kickboxing and close quarters drills even, energy drills even. But ground fighting is a huge problem with that. I see too many people just getting down the ground and rolling. Here's what I would really challenge you guys to do, okay? See yourself that you're going to be paired up against really 3 different kinds of training partners. You're either going to get somebody who is better than you, okay, equal to you, or has skills that are under your level. Everybody with me on that? Okay? All right, that you have those 3 kinds of people. And let me just say before I go any farther that if you just met the person, you may not get that idea. But as you get better in ground fighting, it should take you no more than a 3-minute round to know exactly where these people are at, to exactly know where your training partner is at. So who cares if it takes you guys 5 or 10 minutes? You guys are all in the same class with each other, more or less. You guys see each other week in and week out. So you guys know about people's skills. Give or take. You're not going to be perfect, right? And believe me, you're going to have those people that you say are this, and all of a sudden surprise you and make you tap once or twice. But you're also probably going to get those people that you probably make tap once or twice. But here's the point that I'm trying to get across to you guys just for today. If you get somebody who's better than you, okay? If you get somebody who's better than you, it means that you're going to practice your game plan. And we'll talk more about game plan as we kind of get through the next handful of lessons and stuff like that, but you need to have in your mind what are your strengths. What's your strength position, and at least 2, if not 3, strength techniques. Hopefully off of that strength position. Does that make sense? Okay? If you get somebody on the other end here who is less better than you, you need to make sure that you find a way to handicap yourself. Now, what do I mean by that? I simply mean that you're going to limit yourself by whatever variables you want. You can only be in inferior positions. Maybe you can only work in one position. Maybe you're only going after one particular move. Okay? Maybe you handicap yourself by saying, you know what? Every 15 seconds, I'm going to try a move. And chances are, if the person's not as good as you, guess what? You're probably going to get a good percentage of it. Does that make sense? Okay? But here's the kicker. If you get somebody who's equal, because I see this happening a lot, okay? All right? What I really want you guys to do is to really communicate with each other. And I'll talk a little bit more about this as we kind of get through the next handful of lessons. But if you find somebody who is definitely around your level, you need to communicate with that person on what is the intensity, what kind of goals you have, are there any kind of drills you're going to focus on, is there any kind of techniques or positions you're going to focus on. Does that make sense? What I don't want you guys to do is just get down the ground and roll. Find out where you are at, and off of that, then once again, decide kind of what your focus is. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay? All right, so we're going to close on up just real quick. I'm going to give you guys a minute. I'm going to pair you guys up. You guys got it. You don't have to consciously tell the person, hey, you know what, I'm better than you, so I'm going to do my game plan kind of thing, right? Okay? What I want you guys to do is to go ahead and in your mind just kind of size the person up, And that's one of the reasons why today we kind of rolled with everybody. So you should have a fairly good idea kind of where you stand with everybody. Does that make sense? All right, let's give it a try.